Welcome back, guys. We're here with our Lineage 2 Revolutions Ultimate 180 Guide. I apologize for not getting this video out a few days ago. When I got to 180, I was super burnt out. I put so many hours, so many countless hours into the game since the update hit last week. As soon as the update launched, we did a 25.5-hour live stream on Twitch, and we actually held the #1 spot for leveling for a little bit, but these two Blade Dancers have a lot of CP, and they kind of caught on to what was the best way to level a little bit after I had been rank 1 for a little bit, and so they ended up passing me, but finished rank 3. Super happy about that. Leveled up super fast. On Windowwood 4, we still have some of these guys that are leveling up to 180 for the top 20. So I'm ready to share everything that I did with you guys. Now this is basically, you know, if you're putting in, whether you're free to play or you're pay to play or a whale, I'm hoping that you kind of learn something from this video, and there will be certain mechanics that we talk about in this video that going forward into 260, 320, and beyond, these same type of leveling strategies will most likely be viable. So these are important things to pay attention to in this video if you are looking to level fast and efficiently. All right, first things first, if you're level 120 and you just started playing, obviously the story quest, you could do that, I think, until you can do a few quests. I'd always recommend, if you have the story quest available to you, go ahead and do it. Don't wait, because if you're waiting on your story quest when you're attacking the mobs in the field, if you're too high of a level, your experience goes down. So first things first, you should always be doing the story quest if it is available to you. Now, if this was back the first day when the update hit, the most efficient way to level was actually these rare monster summoning stones. So if I go ahead and use this and go through the monster list, these guys, Magnus, the Rorkas inside of this were level 128. So these were viable all the way through level 132 until you dinged 133. So if you had a lot of these summoning stones, the most effective way, fastest way, hands down to get experience, was just spamming these. That's it. You're not going into the field, you're not going into hot time, you're not going into the elite dungeons. This was an amazing way to get experience. Now, there's two things that you need to realize that also made this really fast, is if you are doing this, you are going to want to have an elite weapon. I ended up having my elite bow at 80% additional damage. I want to get this to level 10 before the next update, because the same type of mechanic might be viable for 260. We'll see, though. So having a weapon like this is definitely going to be advantageous for all of us. It was this update, and it will be going forward. It's just that bonus damage is so crazy. Even with this bow not being limit broken and only plus 13, this weapon is better than my level 36 PvP rare bow with plus 23. Like, this is still better. It's crazy to think that, but it is. If you're looking to make an elite set, which is viable right now, and will be even more viable in the future, you want to try and get experience on it, because whenever you're really caring about these elites and everything else, and we're leveling super fast, you want to stack that EXP gain as much as you can. I actually spent 100 crystals to try and roll experience on this, and I ended up getting P attack, attack speed, and XP, so I was like, okay, that's perfect. That's like trifecta, basically. And then if you're going to be wearing the elite armor to help reduce damage, you're going to want to try and get EXP as well, and Adena if you can, since in the elite dungeons they drop a lot of Adena. I ended up getting that on both of these as well. Super lucky. And then the other big thing you need to realize and take advantage of are the potions. So even though you're going up against elite mobs with the gear and summoning stones, is that these potions, technically you're fighting these summoning stones in the field, so these actually stack on top of that as well. If you take 50 flowers, you can actually combine them for an S potion. If you don't have any of those, you can use the regular Eisenhod's Blessing. If you're unaware of how to make the potion, I can show you really quick. We'll go into the workshop. You're going to go into consumables and the Eisenhod's Blessing. There it is. So you can click use tradable. Some people were confused on this. they were buying them off the marketplace and they weren't sure how to use the diamond flowers for the potions. All you have to do is check the use tradable material, and boom, you can make the 200% potion. And this combined with the Dion stone and then leveling super fast, the elite bow, you can run in there, and you probably have to, depending on how much combat power you have, ideally you want to do this by yourself as a DPS. If you're a healer or a tank, unfortunately, this might not be a really good strategy for you. You may have to do it with one other person or two other people to do it fast, so your time to kill is efficient. But if you are a DPS and you're good enough, you can go into those summoning stone areas and you can clear either the whole pack at once or just divide it in like 2 packs and clear them all down. So you can do that until you're 133. Once you're 133, you can't do the Dion stones anymore. Save those, and we'll have a separate video for core fragment farming because there's a lot of crazy things you can do with that. So now, once you're 133 and you can't do those core stones anymore, it makes the most sense then to go into the elite dungeon, and then you should have your Ivory Tower Catacombs 1 unlocked, and that's where you're going to want to spend your hot time. That's where you're going to want to go, and you're going to finally be able to level up, use your hot time, refresh your hot time, and it's going to be able to give you a ton of experience. These quests, you're still going to want to do these quests. If you do spend gems to complete these quests, you're not going to be able to get more experience if you were to go into the actual elite dungeon, clear 75 monsters, because then when you complete it, you have the option to spend 100 gems to get double EXP, which is way more viable than just spending like 50 gems to complete it. Plus the XP inside of it, if you're close near level, it's not bad either. So if you're really trying to get the most bang for your buck with these quests, you want to actually go into the dungeon, clear it, use the 100 gems to get double EXP, because that EXP adds up to be a significant amount. All right, so we'll go over some of your random daily dungeons that you can do. The daily dungeon is going to be a solid way to get EXP as well. We do these every day. Doing it once and then using a few gems to autocomplete is a great way to get experience. You would spend 100 gems and 200 gems and 400 gems probably on the upgrade stone box selection. That's all I did when I leveled. And then if we go over to the EXP Trials of Experience, I only did the 100 and then 200 gem refreshes. I did the 400 gem refresh, I think twice, that's it. It just gets very, very expensive to go much more than that for the Trials of Experience, and it wouldn't have made a difference in my case anyways to get rank 2 or 1. So I just ended up finishing rank 3. Temple Guardian and Summoning Circle actually don't yield experience, and so there was actually a couple days there where I spent so much time getting experience, I didn't even do Temple Guardian and Summoning Circle. I do them now, of course, but when I was leveling and I just put all my time into getting as much EXP as possible within a day, I missed my Temple Guardian and Summoning Circle. Denavolt, it's worth so much that never skip this. I usually use my auto clear tokens for this, so that way I get my maximum amount of Adena per day from it. Extraction Pit, we've talked about this in other videos. When you do go here, make sure you do have an S potion going. So whether you have an S potion going from those stone fragments that you're doing, and like whether it's Garen or Dion, make sure you gather your flowers with the 200%, because those flowers do yield a decent amount of EXP. And Tower of Insolence, if you were one of the guys that ended up, or girls, sorry, if you're one of those individuals that decided to wait to clear Tower of Insolence until the update launched, you actually get a ton of experience for this. That was actually a lot. I think someone had said it was like close to 2 million experience. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Now this is something for you guys to think about going forward. Like if you want to save Tower of Insolence for the next updates coming out, because we'll probably get an expanded Tower of Insolence, like an extra 5 or 10 levels before the next update. You can either save it for faster leveling, or you can use it every day. Now, there is a major advantage for doing it as early as you can, because every day when you are auto-completing, you're getting a ton more resources. Like, I get so many runes, experience, and Adena from this, being at level 70 versus level 60, or 65, or whatever it was prior to the little update that they did. And because of that, like, without even buying runes from the clan shop, and without putting any money into, like, rune packs, my runes levels is 770 count, and that's without putting any money into it. So I don't think I'm definitely, when they come out with new Tower of Insolences, I'm not going to save them. I'm just going to complete them as fast as possible. Like when the update came out for these, I was on super fast to try and beat this Extreme Force guy who has like 300k CP on me, and I've just been completing it every day. And the amount of runes that I think I had like around 200,000 runes saved up for this update, and that allowed me to knock out most of my runes for pages 9 and 10. I'm not done. I'm close. I've got these at 6. And then I'm working page 10 to 6, and then I'm going to go back to page 9, complete these all to 7, and I'm just kind of waiting for more runes. So tomorrow I'll complete my Tower Insolence daily and kind of keep going. So, yeah. Next, easy peasy clan. Make sure you guys are going into your clan shop and you're buying the EXP. We've talked about this in other videos as well. 10 of the small ones. This is right here. Make sure you buy 10 of those, and you buy the 1 greater experience. Make sure you are doing donations so that you can afford those. Don't be selfish. One thing too, if you are in like a well organized in a decent clan guild with a decent amount of members, setting up some kind of like PayPal fund from your guild leader, and then kind of like donating money to that person, so you all are kind of like chipping in. This hunting EXP core gain buff is really nice. That way you guys can level up faster. Like stacking this with hot time is actually, I'll move it over. There you go. Now you can see it's not behind my camera. Okay. So this is actually, this guy is actually really strong because it stacks multiplicatively with your hot time. It's not additively. I think I said that right. So it's actually a ton of experience. When you're rocking your hot time, you can get a lot more EXP per hour. We planned our buffs with this after our clan dungeons. That way, because everyone's showing up for clan dungeons at like, let's say 9 p.m. Eastern. And then as soon as those are done, everyone gets into groups, so everyone kind of gets organized. They get ready to pop their hot time, refresh, and then we just all make the most of a buff like this. So if you, maybe you can convince your clan leader to do this for everyone if you want to level up even faster. All right, so another big thing we have to touch on is, I'm sure you've heard about it in some way, shape, or form, is clan fires. Now, currently in the 180 patch, there is no restriction on how often you can have clans join or drop your alliance. Now, I think they're actually implementing if you're going to have an alliance join, a clan join your alliance, it costs proofs of blood, and it will probably be very expensive. Because like right now, there's no repercussions, there's no cooldown, there's no POB costs. And so what people have been doing is they've been saying we've had alt clans join. We have like just like you can have all kinds of crazy fires with no penalties, and the experience is amazing. I think one of the longest fires on one of the servers in NA last week was 11 to 12 hours straight of fires with clans that basically had some of the top alliances working together. I mean, even guilds had made alt clans, completing the quests on a weekly basis, having quests completed in advance to turn in to do even more quests on the same day of release. And so it's kind of unfair. Like and even though I was in a clan where we had someone, networking with all of these clans to give us all of these fires, it's not really fair to these other clans that aren't doing that. But I mean, that's just kind of how these games are anyways. But definitely you need to have someone that can negotiate or talk to these other clans to organize and coordinate that kind of stuff. We'll give some shout outs for Windowwood 4. On our server, we had Valkyrie, Omega, Stark Industries. Gosh, I can't remember if we did one with Dauntless or not. We may have done a fire with Dauntless too. And then I don't know if we did one with Burktatorship, but shout out to the Burkinator. Forehead, we did a bunch of fires with them as well. And Melon Sickles clan, she streams Summoner's War. She hooked us up with one of the fires for her clan, and so we worked with a lot of clans, even some random clans that had posted in the world chat. Hey, we want to give someone a fire as long as you give us all your members, because they get more experience for it if they have like 30-40 people show up. So I think we ended up doing like a random fire at like 3 in the morning after reset. I mean, I wasn't even there for it, but a lot of the clan mates were. So fires are a really big deal. However, going into 260 in the next update, we might not be able to do that. just because of the POB costs, and then implementing some sort of restriction on how often you can go back and forth with your alliance. Because right now we can cancel an alliance with Stark Industries. We can have some random clan come in and become our ally for like a couple hours. We do fires. Then we end that alliance and we go back to Stark Industries. And so it's really not this balanced thing, especially when clans, if you leave a clan as a player, you can't join another clan for a certain amount of time. And if you keep doing that, it keeps stacking up to like 3 days or so and doesn't reset for a month. And there's nothing like that for clans, which is interesting. But there probably will be going forward before the next major update. So we'll have to wait and see. So that's all I have to say for fires. Oh, a big shout out to Parrot. Parrot's been a longtime supporter, viewer, subscriber of mine. Big shout out to him. He was the main guy that hooked up and organized all the fires on Windowwood 4 for our clan. So thanks, Parrot. All right, so let's go over some areas in the field that are really effective for you to grind. Excuse my character being red. We've got some punks on Windowwood 4 that needed some discipline. But anyways, we're going to go to... I'll show you one of the first areas that I went to. Now, I didn't look this spot up. I kind of just randomly was running around and ended up finding it, but it was a really nice location. It wasn't there. It was in the Devil's Isle. There are some really good spots in the Devil's Isle. So if we'll teleport to Zakin's Ghost Harbor ship. Let's go here. Now, there's 2 spots I want to show you in this area that worked really well for me personally. Now there's going to be a lot of people in these zones, so this might be a little bit different for you depending on your server. Now if you're in a spot, obviously if you're going into one of these spots and there's a bunch of people, then you're probably going to want to find a different location. In some of these areas, there's going to be multiple channels. Right now we only have 1 channel in Devil's Isle, so make sure you're taking that into account, maybe looking around. So this was actually one of the first areas where I kind of AFK'd. When I was leveling really fast, there was no one here, but the spawn in this little area in Devil's Isle has a really good density and a really good spawn rate. And the other spot that I went to is actually probably the best place to level until you're until you out-level them, is actually just on the northern side of Devil's Isle, inside the field. Now this time around at 180, there's a lot of good locations in the field that give you pretty good density. You can sometimes attack 3 mobs at once. Usually getting at least 2 at once, especially if you're manually playing. Let's make sure I'm going in the right direction here. All right, so I want to go to the left a bit, but this is actually where I'm about to take you, right here, where these Zakin pirate boats ones are. This is a very popular area, and this is one of the areas that was recommended to me from one of my viewers on Twitch to go to. But the spawn right here is crazy. Now here, you could even tell there's so many people that are farming here right now. So this is one of the best places to level. Now a little bit further over the bridge to the left here, there's not as many spawns, so this isn't going to be probably one of the better areas. It's where all those other people were. That's going to be the best spot to go. So this is going to be a really good area to level until you are over 4 levels. And then at that point, you're going to want to go to the final zone and start attacking basically anything, anywhere you can really go, because there's a lot of really good places to level there. But these are level 156. So as soon as you're 161, you really can't level here anymore, because you're just going to be they're not going to get enough experience. So for the once you're done here and you're 161, I can show you a ton. Gosh, there's so many good places to go in the haunted necropolis. This whole anywhere on this top section here is going to be amazing. I'd say one of the most popular areas is this little stretch right here, because they have these giants, the grandest dragon slayers, where the spawn rate and density is pretty good. There's also one of the rares, Ravelos, is over here with Jason. So it's not only can you farm good elite mobs, but you can also farm field mobs at the same time. So that's where I was when I started recording this video. So we'll go back there so I can kind of show you that area as well. The problem with haunted necropolis and kind of farming in this area, because there's not a lot of there's actually not that many spots relatively that you're going to be able to farm that are within 4 levels of you once you're at 180, which is where all of us are going to be farming. And so I think PvP is going to be really crazy once everyone gets higher up, because there's it's going to be pretty easy to find someone if you really wanted to. So on servers where there's a lot of, hunting going on, well, it's probably going to be pretty tough to AFK overnight without dying, to say the least. So let's teleport to the Oblivion Waypoint. This is a really good teleport because it's right next to 2 elite spawns. So if you're looking to farm, you have Jason just right over here to the top side of the road. And then you've got Ravalos just on the other side, downward a ways. This guy is usually up. This guy, like, he can drop elite scrolls, or enhanced scrolls rather. A lot of times he's only dropping cores though, just because he is he's 174, so you're above 4 levels of difference. So while it might not be often where he's dropping an enhanced scroll, but he definitely still can. So usually I'll come check him out. I'll come check out Jason just to see if he's spawning to kill him really fast. Just because there are no bosses this time around in the end zone that are within 4 levels of you, where before in Shrieking Hollows there was. So I'm not really sure how that's going to affect our enhanced scroll farming at 180. And so if you're one of the players that's taking their time leveling, I would encourage you to farm bosses as often as possible while you level up. Like if you're not in a rush to get to 180, definitely farm the bosses along your way up, because like right now, this is Ravalos, this is the other guy. They're only 174, so it's a 6 level difference. And Jason, he's the other 174, and a lot of the others are like in the 160s. There's not that many bosses. None of them are 176 or higher. Yeah, 168, 174, 162, 162, 162, 168. And so, yeah, these two, Jason and Ravalos, are the only 2 that I can kill. And the 6 level difference. So, yeah, we'll have to see if that makes a big difference or not. But yeah, this is the stretch I was talking about. So these are 180s. You can kill 180s if you want to. This is the area where I think a lot of people have been grinding, though. These giants, these grandest dragon slayers, the density is pretty good. Like, look at all of them stack on top of each other. So even if you're auto AFKing, like, this is going to be a pretty good area to level up. I wouldn't go as far as going up to these Veramus's childs, these drakes. So you want to just stay by the giants, and that's going to be your final spot where you would level in the field. There are a decent amount of these, so just try and not step on someone else's toes. But look, I pressed auto and I've got 3 on top of me right now, so that's a really good example. A really good example. Now, for the final push. If you are a high level and you're kind of like struggling and you're like right towards the end of 180, there are some more stones from Gearin that you can use to help you along the way. So if I go back into my items, I go to the Gearin stones, and this is also assuming you have an elite weapon. You're going to need that. If I go into the Gearin stones, I go into use. So now these are the elites. You can do the same strategy where if you want to stack a potion and you want to do summoning stones, it's still really good experience. Now these, the last one that you're going to be able to do that I had to use at 179 is actually go up against these sandstorms, which are these cave Saharas. They are the strongest monster in the game in the elite dungeon. They are super scary, but if you're summoning them in the field, they're not as bad because they have less HP. These are if you've completed all your daily quests, you've completed your hot time refresh, this is like the best experience you can get leveling to 180. And this is using an elite weapon. This is using a field potion buff boost, and then just summoning these. It's really fast. It was really fast experience. I think in about an hour, I got about 30% of a level in about an hour and a half. So that's not bad, right? That's actually pretty good. So you can do these other ones too if you're, because these are technically elites: Skull Chaser, Creatus. You've got Gargu, Vulture, and Morpheus. So depending on your level, depending on what you're doing, what you had done, you can do these. These are all elites that would be in the field that you can use your elite weapon on. So remember that. You also have these A ranks. These are from the first Ivory Tower elite dungeon. So those can also be done. And that can ding you to 180. I've talked about this in a lot of the leveling guides. These scrolls. I guess one tip we can talk about with the scrolls that I actually did. This might help some of you if you are spending gems on this scrolls. Now, when I did my level rush to 180 and got rank 3, I was purchasing, oh man, I was spending diamonds on these scrolls every day. It was really expensive. Big shout out to Netmarble streamer program, because if they hadn't done that, I would not nearly have enough crystals to be able to do this. But something to mention, so you can buy 10 of these quest scrolls, right, for 240 diamonds each. Now, they also have this for 150, 135, and 120, right? So let's say like you're 132, right? You start out, you level 132 for the day. You can purchase 10 135, you can purchase 10 120 quest scrolls, right? And then as soon as you ding 135, these become 135 quest scrolls, and the daily limit resets because it's technically a different item in the store. And then you can buy 10 more scrolls. I ended up doing that I was in the 130, I was over 135, and I had purchased 10 quest scrolls, like a 10 135 quest scrolls, and I ended up dinging to 150, and I ended up purchasing 10 150 quest scrolls, and so my 20 quest scrolls for the day were all scrolls. So that's something you can do. It's really expensive, but if you have the red diamonds, that's going to be a really good way to get experience. Either way, the drop rate for quest scrolls seems to be pretty decent right now, and so just make sure you're doing the 20 quest scrolls, because that is by far one of the best ways to make a Dena in the game, hands down, as well as getting experience. For those, if this is your first video watching of mine, it's very simple. You would just start a quest here, and then once you complete your 5 quests, you would then reset. You can do this up to 3 times per day, which allows you to do 20 total. Make sure you're doing that, because these rewards, not only does it give you soul shots, but look at the experience. It's a ton, and then the gold isn't bad either. So I mean, it's like 500,000 a Dena for doing this right now for 20 quests. So that's not bad at all. Now, I don't teleport anymore. I was teleporting every time it was like over 100 meters. Oh, I would teleport. So teleporting is a big deal in terms of doing your quest scrolls and your weekly quests and all of that. But yeah, I don't teleport anymore. So because now I'm done leveling, and I'm trying. It's basically one big Dena grind at this point to be able to have enough Dena to enhance and everything else. So that goes over a ton. I mean, let me look through here. What am I missing? If I go through the quests, I guess I actually did. I this time around I actually did refresh. I spent 160 diamonds to get all R quests. The R quests difference versus the S and the A is kind of significant, so I ended up doing that this time around. I tried to get as many R's as possible just through the game giving them to me organically, and then using my 3 available refreshes, so that way I can maybe save like up to 160 gems, and then just use the rest of my gems to refresh so I could do 12 R quests. Now, when you're leveling, if you are leveling and you're up against some of these players that are, extremely competitive and they're leveling really fast, that is one thing that you can use to your advantage, and everyone else is doing it, so might as well do it too. One thing also we can talk about in the field, they don't have it going right now, but that first weekend, I don't know if they're going to do this again, maybe this coming weekend, since it hasn't even been a week yet since the 180 has been released, but for like 4 days or so, they did a EXP boost in the field. I can't remember at 120 if they did 2 weekends of that. They might do another one. If they do that, the field leveling is so amazing. It's so good. So with it not being up right now, it's still effective to farm in the field, but man, when that field buff is going, your S potion, whether it's 200% or 100%, does stack with it. It's really good experience. So make sure you are AFKing in the field as often as possible when that buff is going. And that was something that we all kind of realized once the buff went live, but when we were still leveling, that some people had soul shots going and were leveling in the elite dungeons to get experience, but as soon as the field buff went live, like there was no contest. Like it made way more sense farming in the field. Just the experience was so much better. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Let's talk about. I've got one thing we can talk about. Now I haven't done my hot time yet for the day. on this character, but let's talk about I've got something I want to say about hot time, because this is actually one of the biggest. This is probably like one of the biggest things that I can tell you. If you're looking to be super competitive with experience in the next updates, or whether you're trying to have like a really effective hot time going forward to 180, is having someone gather all the monsters for you. Your character will be standing there just attacking, not doing anything, and you have someone running around gathering all the monsters and kind of just luring them to you. Call it pulling. And you're able, what this enables you to do is you're never wasting time, so that your character is always auto attacking and attacking. He's never like just missing global cooldowns where you're moving and you're not dealing damage. You're always dealing damage. You stack the combo to 10% extra damage, and you just have someone that's pulling them to you. One important thing when you're doing this is that person that's pulling them to you is not in your party. You're doing it solely for yourself. And so one way to hook someone up, like if you want to, you can either like, you can try and set up the gifting thing through the guild shop to where you gift a player something. If you end up getting someone to help you, or you can just return the favor to them at some point in the future, because that is a pretty big, that's asking a lot from a player to do that for you. I ended up having one of my viewers do that for me once, and I didn't ask him to. He just kind of volunteered to do it, and so I didn't really realize how much experience it was going to be, or how much extra experience, but it was a noticeable difference. I felt like it was at least like 2 times faster having someone pull for you versus just doing it all yourself and pulling your own monsters. So try to take that into consideration if you want to get the most for your hot time. Now, I mean, 2 hours with a base hot time plus an hour and a half refresh, that's a lot of time to ask someone to pull for you. So like I said, maybe try and help that person out, or return the favor, or, you know, do whatever you can, because that's asking a lot from someone. One thing I can say about these weekly quests, if you are in a good spot in the field and you have the spot to yourself, and you have like, let's say, an experience potion going, and you don't have enough time to complete all these quests, you don't want to run around to complete them, it is actually really fast to just spend 50 gems to complete them. I did that every day, actually. Especially if you get one of those quests where it's like, kill this named monster and he's already dead. You don't want to waste any time farming in an area that's either too low of a level, or the density isn't good, or you have a lot of other people waiting. So it makes the most sense to just spend the 50 gems to complete it. So that's something I wanted. So like right now, I don't care about that, because I'm already 180. I'm not in a rush. So eventually I'll just click go now, and my character will go kill these worm guardians. But if I was leveling to 180, I'd spend the 50 gems, complete it, because you don't get a penalty for autoing it. Now, if you're not in a rush, I mean, don't gem it, because I mean, the experience from killing these is still going to be pretty decent if they're within your level range. So it's kind of up to you. It's kind of on you if you want to do that or not. One other thing we can go over really fast is actually kind of going back to the fires, is you want to have a EXP gear. So like your weapon having EXP is a big deal. Even if you have like, these were my EXP boots, they're only S boots. I ended up having an EXP set around 9 to 10%. I know some people were able to get upwards around 18% additional experience. Now, I mean, if you're spending like as much time as we spent in fires, where we probably had like 20 plus hours in fires over the course of like 4 days, getting 20%, 15 to 20% additional experience from those fires is a really big deal. And the nice thing about that gear is you're going to be able to use that going forward for every update. So try to have some sort of experience gear set. If you could have some SR items that are elite dungeon items that also have the experience on it, because that's what you would end up wanting for those anyways, for fast leveling in the elite dungeons, but also use that for the fire set, that's probably the most effective way to have your gear set up. One of the last things I want to mention in this video for you guys is one of the programs that I ended up using to play this game, especially while I'm playing AFK, is BlueStacks. They're running on the new Nougat Android software version, which has been great. If you're wanting to just kind of give your devices a break, because Lineage 2 Revolutions is a power resource hog. If you've been playing this game as long as I have, you know that whether you're playing it on an iPad or a phone, it definitely drains the battery life down quite quickly, especially if you're playing it on max settings. So kind of giving your devices a break, playing it on this, whether I usually have my character AFKing overnight on BlueStacks, which has been great. Gives me a chance to power up all my devices when I'm streaming on Twitch. I can run them all without them being on low power, especially my phone. It's nice too because you can actually use like AWSD as keybinds, and you can keybind all of your skills to be able to play the game if you're looking to play it on PC. I'll include a download link for BlueStacks in the video description if you'd like to try it. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, I think we've covered everything in terms of leveling quickly. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Definitely remember to click like if you like this video, and I'll definitely read the comments to see if there's anything that I missed. If you do have questions, I did that in some of the other videos. Some people had random questions and I replied. So I will do the same here. Or you can stop at my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/KoopaTroopa787, and you can just ask me questions there on the fly, and I'll definitely answer those too. Now you can hear my cat in the background playing with his little bell balls. Good time to end the video, I guess. But thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of you out there in the field at 180. Best of luck, guys. Hey guys, be sure to click that subscribe now button. Thank you for watching this video. Also check out these other videos down below if you want to see more awesome content. Always remember to feel free to check on our Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/KoopaTroopa787 to see more content. I'm always there. If you have any questions, comments, ask in the video, or find me on Twitch. Like always, thanks guys for everything that you've done for me, and we'll see you next time.